let's quickly make it so that we don't have to go through this process to decode or to map our snapshot data that is coming from Cloud Firestore, right? Although this works for testing purposes, we're going to extract this and create a data class that will then allow us to say something like book.author and get the field. In this case would be author. Okay, let's do that real quick. So let's open our project, and inside of libs there, I'm going to create a new folder called model. And inside of this folder, again, Command Shift P or Control Shift P for Windows. And then I'm going to say new file, call this book.dart. Okay, this will represent one instance of a book. Pretty simple. All right, the first thing I am going to do, let's say class book, and this class will have a few properties of fields. The first one is going to be a string title. So I'm going to say final string title. I'm going to continue. Let's give it string author, final string notes, final categories, description. So this should be good for now. We're going to add more in the next videos, but at least we should have something going on. All right, it looks like we have a problem here, which means we have to initialize all of this by creating a constructor. So if you say command and then period, hit enter, there is a nice constructor for us. Let's make sure that these are actually named parameters as such. Next, we're going to have to translate what we will be receiving, which is going to be a map, right? Key value pair keys there, into something that we can use. In this case, it's going to be a book, right? So I'm going to say factory at the bottom here. I'm going to say book dot, and I can name whatever I want, but I'm going to say from map. And the parameter that we're going to be passing is going to be a map. In this case, the keys are going to be string types and dynamic, like such. I'm going to call this data. All right. Okay, so I'm going to return then a book. I'm going to invoke the constructor. In this case, let's start with the ID. It's going to be our data in this case, and go get the ID. Okay, ID field. Now, the reason why we have this ID actually added here, okay, is because we want to make sure that each book that we create or that we have is connected or has its ID in its object, because we want to use that ID later to do all sort of things, to edit, delete, and do whatever else we want. Okay, let's continue. So we're going to do title, semicolon, I believe. All right, so now we can use this. How do we use this? So go back to our main screen there. Instead of going through all this process like this, I could change things. I can say, for instance, final book list stream as such. I'm going to say use snapshots. Okay, I'm going to get data, get docs, and then I'm going to say map, right? And in this case here, I want to make sure that this is indeed a block. Okay, convert that to block. What we need to do then, this map here, this E, it's going to be query document snapshots, right? Which is exactly what we need. So I'm going to change this to book like that. Doesn't matter really. In this case here, I'm going to map every book that I'm getting from here, from our backend Cloud Firestore, into an actual book object. To do so, we say book. Let's go ahead and import our book, package that like that. And I'm going to say book dot from map, right? This is a map that is coming in. We pass that book like this, and we're going to go ahead and get dot data. Now, if you hover over, you can see that this book list stream, right, is going to be actually an iterable type that will contain all the books. If we have one or two or hundreds, doesn't matter. Okay. One other thing before we move forward I have to do here is to make this to a list. So I say dot to list like that. So now we have an actual list. If you hover over, it says list of book. All right, very good. So in this case here, now instead of using data as such, I could say, if I wanted to, I can call that and give 0 in this case. And then instead of saying author, that, I can say dot. Look at that, because this is saying, okay, a list of books, type books. I'm going to get the first element that I find. I can go and fetch any of these fields. Let's go ahead and get notes for now, just see what happens. I'm going to save this. Okay, let's log in real quick. Looks like our session is kicking us out. It's okay. And there we go. There's hello, hello, something like that. It's working fine because we actually got, in this case, just the notes. And the other thing I could have done also, I could have just created a book object, say book. It says equal to book list, or stream that is, should be list at this point, like that, and put 0 just to get that one book. And then I have that book object like this, and just copy and use that. Okay, that also would work. Very good. So there we go. Now we are making our lives a little bit better. In fact, I can just change this to author if I wanted to get that, and save. And you can see there it is, James. All right, so it works. And we'll continue refining all of this once we actually start putting together the whole application. But thus far, you can see that this is way easier. We can map things around so that we don't have to go through the process we had before, such as this.